Our lead story tonight, it's now day 16 of the Poonch encounter in Jammu and Kashmir. This is one of the longest encounters ever between the Indian Army and terrorists. 9 Indian Army soldiers have laid down their lives for the country in action here over the last 2 weeks. Vishnu Shom reports on how the terrorists involved were apparently part of a terrorist sleeper cell which had been dormant in the valley. The area of this encounter is 20 kilometers from the line of control.
Now, the area of this encounter is 20 kilometers from the line of control, which is why it's believed that this isn't a recent infiltration across the line of control. The terrorists involved are thought to be part of a sleeper cell who may have been dormant for several years in the Kashmir Valley. Now, the sleeper cell has been activated. Why? Because it's a time when terror attacks over the last couple of years have been low in Kashmir. Presently, they're operating in a huge thick forest, 30 square kilometers plus. It makes drone operations difficult to spot these terrorists. Helicopters haven't been able to get a very precise fix either. Therefore, high-risk combing operations are presently on by foot. Remember, 9 Indian soldiers have been killed in action by terrorists at 2 different locations so far in this very long encounter, one of the longest in our recent history. On the 11th of October, 5 soldiers were killed in action in Dera Ki Gali in Poonch, and on the 14th of October, 4 soldiers were killed in action in the Mendhar region.
So clear evidence there of Pakistan backing, however, as that encounter continues for 16 days. Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan has approved the appointment of Lieutenant General Nadeem Ahmed Anjum as the next chief of the Inter-Services Intelligence Agency, or ISI, ending an unprecedented standoff on the issue with the powerful Pakistan Army. Of course, the ISI responsible for coordinating with terrorist groups, like including the Taliban takeover in Afghanistan and the current spate of violence in Kashmir as well. However, this is an unprecedented standoff between the Pakistan Prime Minister and the ISI. Well, let's just move now to the other stories. Well, the latest COVID numbers is good news because just over 12,400 cases, the lowest in nearly 8 months. Deaths are also down below 400. The vaccinations are down as well at over 53 lakhs, but still high, and we of course crossed that 100 crore mark. Tests are up and the daily positivity rate has dropped as well, with cases coming down. Well, a decision is expected by the World Health Organization on the approval of Bharat Biotech's Covaxin. That's India's first indigenous COVID vaccine. That's extremely important for India because, of course, 11% of our total vaccinations of our over 100 crores has been done with doses of Covaxin. Covaxin is an inactivated whole virus vaccine and developed with the Indian government's ICMR. Of course, Indian doctors have said this is completely safe and effective. We're now waiting for WHO approval, so important for travel clearances for Indians abroad. Well, moving to the other big headline, the Supreme Court will pronounce its judgment tomorrow on a batch of petitions seeking a court-monitored probe into alleged unauthorized surveillance using the Pegasus software, which can hack into your phone, made by the Israeli firm, the NSO Group. The Supreme Court had earlier said it was in the process of forming an independent committee of experts to probe the matter. So that case will come up tomorrow, as that's a crucial verdict coming up there. Well, moving now to the other big headline, what's happening in the Aryan Khan case. The High Court arguments began today, but just as that happened, 2 people in the same case have got bail in the lower court. Let's go across to Saurabh for more on that. Saurabh, so interestingly, in a sense, the same court which didn't give Aryan Khan bail has given 2 others bail in the same case. It seems to be extremely odd.
That's right. In fact, one would wonder why this has happened, because the circumstances seem to be the same, except for perhaps chats that have been recovered from Aryan Khan, as the NCB claims, which of course don't exist in the case of these 2 accused. At least that's what the arguments these lawyers have made. Now we'll have to wait for the detailed order to see where that is and why exactly the court felt that while Aryan Khan, from whom no possession has been made, doesn't deserve no recovery has been made, doesn't deserve bail, but like other accused from whom recoveries have been made are eligible for bail. Now, that of course will be explained in the court order. But this morning and this afternoon in the Bombay High Court, Mukul Rohatgi, the former Attorney General of India, argued and of course argued for Aryan Khan and saying that this is a boy who's 23-year-old, he deserves to be released on bail. and of course saying other things, like making the point that they were playing games of online poker, which of course the NCB is interpreting as chats of consumption, saying that in the lockdown these online games have become very popular. Mukul Rohatgi also made several other arguments, including the legislative intention of the law, saying that these are at best people whom, if you can prove a case of consumption, deserve to go to rehab and not prison, making it clear that these are again all bailable offences. No recoveries have been made, no tests have been done to prove consumption, yet this boy has spent 20 days in jail, and he of course says this is a fit case for bail. Now of course tomorrow the other accused lawyers will argue, and then of course the ASG Anil Singh will argue on behalf of the NCB, and then of course we'll hear what the Bombay High Court has to say post that.
And there's a whole drama happening outside the court also, Saurabh, as you've been reporting, because of course we know also that a team from Delhi is coming to probe Inspector Wankade tomorrow as well, and the political fight which you heard Mukul Rohatgi saying in court today that we have nothing to do with that political fight. Let's just look at that latest mess, because on the one hand there are claims that other cases were being fixed and drugs planted, extortion used, and meanwhile today Sameer Wankade's wife also came out in his defense.
लेकिन मेरी जानकारी है कि इस शहर में समीर वानखेड़े दो प्राइवेट व्यक्ति के जरिए लोगों के फोन इंटरसेप्ट कर रहा है। एक व्यक्ति जिसने इस संस्था का इस्तेमाल करके हजारों करोड़ रुपए की वसूली की।
मेरा पति झूठा नहीं है तो क्यों हम लोग सहन करें? वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू टेक दिस। हम लोग क्यों जाए कोर्ट में? हम लोग क्यों जाए? आरोप तो वो लगा रहे हैं ना, आरोप वो लगा रहे हैं तो उनको जाना चाहिए कोर्ट में। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि समीर जी की जॉब और उनकी काम करने की शैली से, क्योंकि वो ऑनेस्ट ऑफिसर है, उससे बहुत लोगों को अड़चन होती होगी, बहुत लोग चाहते कि वो कुर्सी से हट जाए।
So as that controversy continues, let's just go across to what really is a big headline story. Farmers in Madhya Pradesh facing an acute fertilizer crisis amid peak harvesting season. They're spending the whole night outside the depots to get fertilizer. It's running out. There are claims of black marketing. Some shops are actually being looted. In the middle of this fertilizer shortage, as farmers across the state are spending hours queuing up. Where are the ministers? Where's the agriculture minister? Where's the chief minister? Well, they're busy campaigning for by-elections.
In several places across Madhya Pradesh, a new crisis for farmers. Long queues for fertilizers here in Sagar. In Ashoknagar, hundreds slept outside in Mungauli block headquarters just so that they can get a token early in the morning to buy fertilizer. Farmers also shouted slogans against the government demanding DAP, a commonly used fertilizer in several other districts. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar admitted that there is a shortage but blamed international crisis.
DAP फर्टिलाइजर का थोड़ा शॉर्टेज है क्योंकि हम DAP को इंपोर्ट करते हैं और उसके भाव भी बढ़े हैं।
Yesterday, Congress MLA from Banda in Sagar, Tarwar Singh Lodhi, broke down alleging DAP fertilizer issued for the farmers of his constituency was diverted to Niwari, where the by-elections are scheduled on October 30th.
शिवराज आपके विश्वास को कभी नहीं टूटने देगा।
Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has directed the officers to inform farmers about alternatives, like manure and regular monitoring of available stocks. He also promised strict action against black marketing of fertilizers.
As the crisis deepens, Madhya Pradesh government is preparing to invoke NSA, and the farmers are blaming black marketing and hoarding of the fertilizer for the DAP crisis. in Bhopal. With camera person Rizwan Khan and Anurag Dwari for NDTV.
So, by-election, assembly and Lok Sabha campaigning on in full swing, issues like these being ignored because of course this Saturday there are 30 elections in 14 states. Crucial by-elections with each state heavyweights, chief ministers all out busy in the campaign. Our special report from Telangana.
BJP candidate Itala Rajender is the reason Huzurabad has turned into a prestige battle for the Telangana Rashtra Samiti. Four-time MLA Rajender joined the BJP after he was removed as health minister by Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao in May following allegations of land grabbing.
400 కోట్ల రూపాయలు ఖర్చు పెట్టారు. ఇంకా ఎన్ని వందల కోట్లైనా అక్రమంగా సంపాదించిన డబ్బులు ఖర్చు పెట్టి ఈటలంటే ముఖం అసెంబ్లీలో కనబడదని చెప్పి హుకుం జారీ చేశారు. ఇది ఊర్లే బార్ షాపులుగా మార్చి మద్యం ఏళ్ళై పారుతా ఉంది.
TRS candidate Gelu Srinivas Yadav is a student leader, not a political heavyweight. But Finance Minister Harish Rao, who is usually in charge of all prestigious electoral battles for the TRS, has been camping in Huzurabad to ensure KCR's image is not tainted because of the outcome here.
ఒక్క ఛాన్స్ మా గెల్లు సీన్ తీయండి. గెల్లు సీన్ సోపతికి నేను కూడా వస్తా. నెలకి సార్ మరి మీ ప్రేమ మాకు ఉండాలి, మీ ఆశీర్వాదం మాకు ఉండాలి. ఈ అబద్ధాల బీజేపీ మాటలు నమ్మకం దయచేసి.
Congress Chief Revant Reddy and legislator Sitaka are among those who have campaigned for party candidate Venkat Balmur, who has been NSUI president in Telangana.
The TRS must win to reinforce the supremacy of KCR and to also quell any future political dissent. For the BJP, a win would enthuse the party cadres to emerge as a realistic challenger to the TRS in 2023. Reports suggest a lot of money and liquor is flowing in Huzurabad. With camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
In other news, the Sensex and Nifty gained for the second straight session on Tuesday, led by gains in Reliance, Kotak, Bajaj Finance, ITC, Tata Steel, Nation Paints. The Sensex up by as much as 531 points at an intraday high, finally closing at 61,350. The Nifty also touching an intraday high, closing finally up by 143 points.